afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming to this Cambridge Centre for Evaluation and Monitoring webinar on better connected data across your multi-academy trust with Chem assessments. I have just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. Please note that your microphones are muted. We cannot hear any members of the audience, and this is to ensure good sound quality. If you would like to ask questions, please post them in the questions section of the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll answer questions at the end of the webinar. You'll receive a certificate of attendance, which will be sent to your email inbox 1 hour after the webinar finishes. You'll also receive a copy of this webinar recording and the slides sent to you via email next week. All right, I'll now hand over to Lucy Baker, who is one of our assessment advisors. Over to you, Lucy.
Hello, thank you for that, Megan. So, nice to meet you. My name is Lucy Baker and I'm an assessment advisor at Chem. So, just a little bit of background about myself. In my job role, I provide an in-depth specialist knowledge and advising schools and multi-academy trusts on the benefits of using Chem assessments and supporting them when they're using them. So, I work closely with schools, colleges and trusts to support their ongoing school improvement and future assessment strategy. But I also, before I came to Chem, so I came to Chem in September, I was actually a teacher, so I'm a former primary school teacher, and I worked in 2 different multi-academy trusts, and I've been a subject leader for maths, PSHE, geography, history, and I also have a specialism in outdoor learning as a subject lead, as well as mentoring early career teachers and supporting trainees, especially in Cambridgeshire where I work. So that's just a bit about me and a bit about my teaching background. So now I'm going to go on to tell you a bit about our assessments and how we can help support you as a trust and how Chem can benefit you. So, just a bit about Chem. So Chem, it stands for the Centre for Evaluation and Monitoring, and we're part of the Cambridge family. Chem joined with Cambridge University Press and Assessment, and we work together with OCR, with Cambridge International to promote really quality assessments and support schools and teachers in the best way to get the best data and advice going out there. So, Chem is used by educational professionals for almost 40 years and in over 90 countries. So it's actually Chem's 40th birthday this year. So Chem is one of the largest and longest established providers for adaptive formative assessment and baseline assessments for children of all ages from 3 to post-16. So Chem's methods are research-based, evidence-driven and market-tested. They're built on foundation of non-commercial and academic practice. We always strive to have the best quality and make sure everything we do benefits the teacher, benefits the students in a really positive way, and we can support our data and evidence it with research. So, what does Cambridge Chem offer for trusts? So, our suites of assessments for students aged 3 to 19 are perfect for primary, secondary, and post-16 academies in your multi-academy trust. We always ensure the assessment is consistent across your trust, and will give you baseline attitudinal assessments, a well-being check. It can provide bespoke professional development courses and reports that complement teacher observations and support them. So, the key part of it is knowing what's happening in your school, and Chem can provide this by making sure that we're supporting the academic learning through baseline assessment, supporting teachers' confidence in data, as well as supporting their mental well-being in a really positive way and combining it together really effectively. And it also helps you get insight in what's happening in your school, because if you take Chem as a multi-academy trust, you're able to get data across all your schools in a consistent format, which will be easy to understand and informative. So, at Chem, we use holistic insights to help support our assessments. So, this means that when you carry out your assessment, it ensures the best possible outcomes for your multi-academy trust students with Cambridge Chem adaptive assessments. And what we do is we turn your comparable data across the trust into actionable insights to use in the classroom, and gives you a really clear picture of abilities and the potential of your students. It helps you understand what areas there might be a gap in. For example, if there is a gap in mathematics in a certain area of numbers, and if that's across a lot of your trust can act in this way to help support them and use the data as an insight, and use interventions and put that in place across your trust to support them, boost your data up, and support the data that's coming out. Cambridge Chem assessments. As I previously said, we have a suite of assessments. So Our baseline assessments cover the academic side. So that means that we give you a clear understanding of the students' outcomes when they join you in primary, secondary or post-16, and you can understand where they are and what data there is and how teachers can act on it and support the pupils in that way. Then on the other side, we offer well-being support. So our well-being tracker, again, gives you really insightful reports, really clear, really insightful to use, but helps you understand what's happening in the pupil's well-being so far. And as we know, well-being can, if you have negative well-being, it can really impact your academic development. So it's just key that we understand that we need both positive well-being and good academic support to help the whole pupil develop and achieve. And that's why we've done this and created a whole project around this. So I'm just going to give you an insight into our primary assessment and a little overview of what we offer. If you would like more information, we have more on our YouTube channel as well that you can watch if you want some more in-depth information about this. So first of all is our base assessment. Our base assessment is our reception, is designed for reception, so ages 4 to 5, and it gives you a snapshot of where the children are as soon as they start school at the age of 4 or 5. And this is really helpful, especially when I was working in EYFS. It's really helpful as it follows along the same guidance of the EYFS curriculum. It helps you understand the areas they need to improve, and it helps teachers build that one-to-one relationship in the school when they're doing the fun and engaged assessment. The assessment isn't very long, it's only 20 minutes, but it's got a fun story that goes along with it. The pupils are engaged, and then they get a whole overview of reports and data which can be shared with senior leadership up in your multi-academy trust, as well as with parents or teachers further down the school. So we also have Cambridge Primary Insight. You may have heard of it as INCAS, but we've done a massive tech transformation. It's now been developed to become Cambridge Primary Insight. So this assessment empowers teachers to build a strong foundation and unlock potential of pupils aged 5 to 11. And similar to BASE, it's designed in a way that follows the national curriculum and is exciting and engaging. Each section ranges from 20 to 25 minutes, depending on if it's reading, mathematics and spelling. And then we have some other sections in this, which is verbal, non-verbal, that comes into your developed ability. You can understand the pupil's learning and also understand where their key strengths are and how to help support them in school. So Cambridge Primary Insight gives you really insightful reports and data. This stage can be used to understand where they might be when they leave you to go into secondary school. And it can also be used to understand the gaps in the children's learning, especially since COVID. It's a really good way to measure what the gaps are and how you can plug them and support teachers to get the best data for the schools and for the multi-academy trust. So what reports are included? So they're compared, so you can compare the development with pupils of a similar age of an age equivalent score. You can measure progress of pupils' abilities over time. You can benchmark academy performance against averages. And you can also understand the trends over time, year on year. So at Chem, it's tracked and saved, so you'll always have your data from the previous years. You can look over it, compare different cohorts, and so you understand the strengths and weaknesses. We also give a really good insight into individual pupils. If you have pupils who have EHCPs or SEN needs or EAL, you can get a really good overview for them and create a really good action plan to support these pupils in that way. And then we also just offer an overall cohort data and school data, which is really effective for multi-academy trusts, where you can actually track each school's data in one system, be able to understand the strengths and weaknesses of the school, and again, how they can be supported and develop their data. So, Chem offers secondary assessments for multi-academy trusts as well, and these are both called MIGIS and YELLIS. So to start with, MIGIS is our lower secondary assessment for students aged 11 to 14. It helps you discover students' aptitudes and likely future performance in GCSE or IGCSE. So MIGIS is really good at giving you chance graphs and data. So what this will do is it will give you chance graphs to understand what subjects pupils are most likely to develop well in and how you can support them in that way, and also help them and inform them for their subject choice, especially when they're going into GCSEs or A-levels. What's really effective about this is it helps give you a clear understanding of the pupil's ability, and as it is adaptive, it works the pupil's level, and any pupils that are high attainers, it will actually go higher than the level that can be an average 14-year-old and give you that ability to see how their greater depth and understanding. This is also very similar to YELLIS. So YELLIS is for our upper secondary assessments, for ages 14 to 16-year-olds. And it helps you understand and prepare them for their GCSEs. As I said before, with MIGIS, you can get chance graphs from this, and it can give you an outcome and understand what's best for the pupils. It can help with conversations about what subjects might be picked for your schools in the future, what GCSEs you might take on as a school. And this is really good for teacher and student conversations as well. Both of our assessments have consistent reports and data, which work really well, especially for multi-academy trust, as you can be able to have clear reports that track the data of all the schools that are in your trust together, and you're able to understand the areas that need improvement and the areas where you have strengths, and you can then support their needs within your trust as well. So, what reports are included? You can identify students' starting points, strengths and weaknesses, as I've said previously. You can understand which practices are most impactful from our value-added data. So, especially when children have completed the ELIS assessment and they get the GCSE grades back, what you can do is you can feed the data back in to our online system. It's really straightforward and easy. And what we can do is give you value-added data, and this can show you the data to see if it fits what we predicted, as well as helps you understand where maybe some subjects, maybe they didn't perform as they should do, or if some subjects achieved over where they have. You can actually understand how well the staff have done, how well the subject has done, and in a really in-depth way. And it's really informative for senior leadership to understand the next steps for the school in developing and improving. But we also do review indicators for potential future GCSE exam performance, and it helps students choose their GCSEs with our predictive data, my chances graphs. So this is a really good insight into the pupil, and it leads nicely into our final type of baseline assessment, which is our post-16 assessment. So this assessment is called ALICE, and it is for ages 16 to 19-year-olds. It helps academies form an objective judgment and highlight the likelihood of achieving grades at A level. So very similar to MIGIS and ELIS in the fact that it helps you understand what grades will be achieved at A level, and it helps give you really good insight into what to expect from different cohorts and track the cohorts over time. Again, ALICE is adaptive, similar to MIGIS, ELIS and our primary product. So it will adapt to the pupil's base level, and it will support them in that way. So it's stress-free, it's calm, and it's really effective. All the reports that come from our ALICE, the ALICE assessment, help align with MIGIS and ELIS and support teachers. So if you've done MIGIS in year 9 and you do ALICE when they come to your sixth forms, it's a really good way to see their data and track them and build this up. So what reports are offered? So our ALICE assessment offers value-added data to help senior academy and trust leaders understand which practices are most impactful. It outlines excellence as well as any dips in performance which would require require support. And it also offers predictions to each grade at A level, which is really key in understanding what they will achieve, and also having a conversation with parents and teachers and students to understand what's going to happen, and also being able to predict how that school will perform at a multi-academy trust level, to understand the data in your schools and be able to say this is what they'll achieve and here are your targets as multi-academy trust. So now linking with our mental health side, so we have the Cambridge Wellbeing Check. The Cambridge Wellbeing Check is simple and a student-led assessment designed to give academies and trusts a more complete picture of the student's wellbeing. It's suitable for children aged 7 to 18, and the check equips you with the tools to evaluate, explore, teach, and promote wellbeing, ensuring students are in the best position to flourish in your schools. So, what's really helpful about this is this helps boost children's mental wellbeing, but also helps support teachers, as we include some really helpful teacher guidance to help and outlines what the wellbeing check is. It helps you understand what lessons could work. So we offer lesson plans for ages 7 to 18 that come with resources to support in this as well. And it's a really good way to help teachers understand mental health and senior leadership and support them to administer lessons that can support and boost wellbeing in the school. Our reports regularly compare groups and classes in your academy and identify trends over time. So for example, if you're noticing a trend in negative feelings across quite a few of your schools in the trust, it's a really good way for you to implement interventions that help target this and support them. And it's a really good indicator to help boost academic achievement when their wellbeing is also high as well. And also we help give guidance, as I said before, and it just supports overall. It's a really good way to get cohort data. year group data and whole school data to be compared against other schools and just to see and identify data trends. So, we also offer bespoke professional development, especially as part of Multi-Academy Trust. CPD is really important, and in Chem we understand this and have provided professional development courses that offer Multi-Academy Trust teachers, middle leaders, senior leaders with the tools to develop and be informed about data. So we aim to help you better understand the assessment reports, implement interventions to improve your students' abilities, boost teacher confidence in the assessments and intervention planning. So we have a set series of our professional development, but we do this to help support you, and then we can also target it around Multi-Academy Trusts. And we offer bespoke packages where in your Multi-Academy Trust, you can tell us what you want from the professional development, and we will put this in place for you and help support all your senior leaders, teachers, or middle leaders to do this in an effective manner. And it's a really good way to offer that CPD and training and get that confidence in data so that the teachers and middle leaders can use the data knowledge to push data and make it higher and be more informed about what they should do to progress and improve in the school. So, why choose Cambridge Chem for your Multi-Academy Trust? So, you're given all the students equal opportunity and you support individual reports to help plan interventions. This means that you can really get a good insight into the pupil, especially when you have secondary and sixth form, you have a lot of pupils. You're able to give every pupil an equal chance to know where they are, and then teachers in your Multi-Academy Trust can act on this and support. It's really effective to get fast data as well as informed and help create a plan to support for the future. You compare scores of each academy with a national picture. So you in a Multi-Academy Trust will get an overall score for all of your schools and we understand where you fit against other schools in the national average data, which is really helpful to understand your data. So you can export all your assessment data into your learning management system to provide a holistic picture of students' ability alongside other methods of the assessment. And a lot of schools in Chem do say that it's really effective to do this, as you can have it all in one hub so teachers can all access it, senior leaders can, and Multi-Academy Trust leaders can as well, be able to get the whole overview of what's happening in the school and in the classroom. You can ensure teachers are being measured reliably, objectively, with independent standardized assessments. This is really effective, so you can have a really clear baseline for all your pupils. You can understand what your data is doing in your trust and be able to give the best possible outcomes for all your pupils because you understand this. And this also supports teacher outcomes and teacher assessment as well, so they will understand where the pupils are and it backs up what they're saying, which is really positive. It quickly identifies areas to specifically focus on your academy improvement. So if in your academy you're working hard to be able to improve and to develop your trusts, to move for an Ofsted or something else, it's a really good way to identify the areas of improvement and work towards as a whole trust and build this into your CPD or build this into school-specific action plans and long-term plans. It saves time, the teacher workload is a quick result automatically available to the academy and the trust leaders and governors. It helps showcase students' development to parents and forming improvement plans. By using Chem overall, as it's online, all our assessments are online, it's really efficient and quick, all your reports are created for you. It's really good to help explain to the governors, to any other people in your trust what's happening and to give really informed information. And it's especially good for having conversations with parents as our assessment is really clear and it's independent and it's standardized. It's a really good overall to explain to parents where the pupils are and what's happening. And it identifies strengths and weaknesses for new academic joiners in the trust and offers the best support. So if in your Multi-Academy Trust, you have a new school join, doing these baseline assessments will give you the quickest insight to understand what data is in that school, what you need to do as a trust to support them and make sure that school is able to improve and develop in your Multi-Academy Trust. So, why trusts use Chem? Currently, we have a few trusts that use Chem. We have some who have a few schools, some who have quite a lot, and trusts use them in different ways. So, some trusts use Chem for a holistic and comparable picture for the development of their students and including their wellbeing needs. And this is really effective as a pupil can't develop positive data if they're struggling with well-being, as it's quite hard. So it's a good way to understand the whole pupil. It's helped you better understand and implement the success of the individual academies across the trust. And it's a really good overview, especially if you're data lead in your multi-academy trust, to understand what's happening and be able to succeed in their role to support all the schools and have a complete overview which is consistent and clear. To quickly and easily report on the student ability across all the academies within the trust, to wider trust leadership, governors and parents. And again, as you know, being in a trust, being an effective trust, lots of people work together to create the whole big goal of your trust being successful and students achieving and doing well. And using Chem can help support this in this way. To leverage detailed reporting to provide bespoke development or intervention plans for students, ensuring students are receiving the best possible educational outcomes. This is really key, as it helps your teachers understand how they can improve and how they are going to be more confident in data, so as making sure so all the students can achieve and be confident and proud of the results they have. To formulate evidence-based decisions to improve student success. As I said before, it's an unbiased assessment. So the data you get from here, it will just be really clear and concise, and you know that is the most straightforward data, and it's clear to understand. And to support teachers' professional development and confidence in delivering and leveraging baseline assessments. This is really important, as it will help teachers feel more confident to use data and more confident in what they are doing. For example, when I was a teacher, to do data effectively is a learning curve, and I think this is a really good way to support teachers and support middle leaders and senior leaders to be able to use data the most effective way possible for the best outcomes. And it's a really good confidence boost and understanding and insight into data. So this is tomorrow, but we're going to be attending the Schools and Academies show tomorrow. So if you were coming as well, it'd be great to see you. I would love it if you could pop by and say hello. I'll be there. It's based in London. So we'll be there from 9 to 5 tomorrow if you want to pop by and come and chat to someone at Chem if you want some more information. But that's the event we're coming to recently. And so if you would like any further information, so you can email Suzanne Tipping, who's the assessment advisor for the North, and her email is suzanne.tipping@cambridge.org, or you can email me, and I'm the assessment advisor for the South of England, and my email is lucybaker@cambridge.org. So any questions or anything you'd like further information, just send an email. We can support you in that way. And yeah, is there any questions, Megan?
Lovely, thank you, Lucy. Just having a look, I don't think there are any questions that have been submitted. But as Lucy said, if anything pops into your head after this webinar, or if you have a look through any of the information that we send next week and you have any further questions, please feel free to get in touch with either Lucy or Suzanne, and they'll be very happy to answer any questions that you do have. So yeah, I think we'll end it there. I'd just like to say a big thank you to Lucy for presenting today and to you all for attending. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we'll send the slides and the recording around within the next week or so. But if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Goodbye.